Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I'm your host, Richard, and we're here today to review the Spanish Grand Prix. Here today to help me with this review is none other than Chris. How are we doing today, Chris?
I'm all good. My drivers did their thing, and certain people had howlers at home. So it's a good day in Chris Industries. How are you?
I'm all right, bro. I'm all right. Bit of a mixed bag for me today. Yeah, Aston Martin had a small howler, but Mick got a 2-3. So guess I'm leaving with something. You know what I'm saying? I'm leaving with something. But yeah, and we've also got none other than Kwame, who looks like an undercover Fed with his white cap. Kwame, how we doing today, bro?
Not bad, not bad. You can see me now in clear 1080p HD, so it's a treat for the viewers out there on our YouTube. But this weekend, like I said, for me, it's been mixed bag as well. Mixed bag. Double Alpine points. Lewis dunking on the Spanish on their home grumpy. But also, Yuki can take away the points for him. So you give and take, man. You give and take. That's all I can say.
Leaving with something, yeah.
Leave aside. Small.
Cool. Right, let's get straight into qualifying. So, in Q1, we had a couple of drivers having a bit of a mare going off track. People like Nick DeVries, Yuki, Albon, Bottas, and Alonso. To be fair, some at the same corner as well. But the biggest shock of all was none other than Charles Leclerc going out in Q1. Now, he said it was a card issue. Some people debating maybe it's a skill issue and so on and so forth. But hey, I'll leave it to the viewers to decide, isn't it? And listeners. So yeah. Also in Q2, Checo goes off. He ends up getting knocked out as well in Q2. Same for George Russell. He unfortunately doesn't make it to Q3. And Max makes pole, but we do have a Spaniard on the front row, or did have a Spaniard on the front row with Carlos Sainz. So, Chris, I'm going to come to you on this. What is your takeaways from Quali, and especially your boy Russell's unfortunate performance?
Takeaways from Quali is that there was some people struggling a lot with getting their front tires warmed up, which was a big problem as the track was a bit cooler and it had rained a couple of hours earlier. So like the F2 sprint race, they went from wets to slicks. So the track wasn't rubbered in and it wasn't gripping the same way it was beforehand. Russell's one of the people struggling with that. And in terms of the incident he had with Lewis, you see Mercedes, yeah? They have a big problem with communication. Like that team has a strong bozo gene because if you look at what happened, and there's articles about it, all the radios and information is out there. You'll see that Russell and Lewis were on different laps. So Russell was to go on a push lap the lap before, but he aborted it for whatever reason. Then he's going around, going towards the end of the first sector, about like turn 10 or whatever. He gets news that Sonoda's coming through, Verstappen's coming through, and then Sainz is coming through. There's no word of Lewis Hamilton, who's just behind Sainz, that he's coming, starting a push lap. So he hears Sainz is on a push lap and gets out of the way before the last corner. Then he's like, cool, Sainz is done. That's everyone done. I can go push and follow behind, get a slipstream, make up the bit of lost time because I didn't get the good run through the final corner, but like make it up. So he does that. Lewis sees George going slowly, thinking, oh, he's going slowly, might give me a little toll, yada yada. Because George left before me. He wasn't told anything about George aborting his lap and George starting to push lap. So they're both starting push laps at the same time. Lewis has a normal good run. So he's going, cool. George is slipstreaming someone. I'm going to slipstream off George. Then I'm going to pull out, overtake him and start my lap. George is slipstreaming Sainz, trying to pull out to get more speed, pull out. So they both do it at the same time. George is not checking his mirrors because you don't check your mirrors on a hot lap. Like you just focus and drive. And then they come together. Now, the fact that no one in Mercedes had the common sense to communicate to the driver saying, you're both on hot laps and this, that, and other's going on is a disgrace. So obviously, George apologizes because, he initiated contact, but the team's at fault. These men should do better. And then it causes, it causes the Twitter streets to get up and be angry at people, but it's the team's fault. And Toll even went out and said it's the team's fault. All the journalists are saying it's the team's fault. I know Rosberg's trying to say Lewis should say sorry, but we don't care about that guy there. Like, I'll care about his opinions the day I see him wear nice shoes, bro. I don't want to see your toes on the broadcast, bro. So like at that moment, that's when I would care. But generally speaking, I think that's a disgrace.
Man said no Birkenstocks, brother. No Birkenstocks, no Crocs, no nothing, brother. I don't want to see none of that shit.
Yeah, bro.
No, but yeah. Speaking on obviously the George Lewis incident, yeah, it's definitely a communication issue for sure. I get why maybe George should take maybe some fraction of the blame, but as you said, like on a hot lap, you shouldn't really be able to check your mirrors. But at the same time, why is it that they end up being so close to each other on a hot lap? Like, why is there not a bigger gap? Like, as in, this was maybe communicated beforehand. I don't know. So maybe there's at least like a 5-second gap or whatever. This incident wouldn't have happened because obviously George moves out the way of Sainz because obviously he doesn't want to crash into Sainz, and then Lewis has surprised them, and then that surprised Lewis, and then it's just a case of like it's a racing incident, even though it's not in a race situation. But yeah, it's definitely on the team. But I get why. Just be with agendas. Do you want to get onto George? Do you want to make Lewis blameless and all stuff like that? I get it, but it's a bit like, come on, let's look at it like in its totality. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's look at a fair. Let's look at a deeper format where I'm just be like, George is trying to sabotage Lewis. So could he's trying to get Nico Rosberg 2.0. It's like, come on, let's be serious now. But yeah, no, I agree with what you said. Kwame, do you have any takes on Quali? Your boys, Alpine did died, took okay still. You know what I mean? I know Yuki as well. So yeah.
I'm a delve into Shaw as well. We didn't speak too much, but I guess that was kind of the biggest shock in qualifying. Him qualifying, in P19, especially in the Ferrari, you'd be thinking that they'll be up there, especially his his teammate Sainz was qualified in the Formula, qualified P2. So you think that especially someone who's one lap pace is very very good, you think that he'd be better, but unfortunately for him, I mean the team we still don't really know. They were claiming handling issues. This is probably the end. I think that, to be fair with Shaw, given the benefit of the doubt, I do think that he had issues in the quali. And also with the condition as well, going from the it previously raining and it not being the track changing condition being a bit more dry. But could have impacted Shaw as well. But yeah, that wasn't a good qualifier for him. With regards to my boys, listen, it was a mixed bag. It was a mixed bag. I feel like the Alpine did very well. Ocon again, he got P7. He was up there again with the best of the rest. With there's only a couple. He's only less than 10th of Shaw. Especially in that Aston Martin as well. So you expect good things. Gaddy as well had a good lap as well, coming P4, but unfortunately for him, he impeded Max, so he got down to 6th place grid penalty. But he lucky in the sense that he didn't get any points to his license. Otherwise, he's looking to be banned for another race, and he needs to be careful. Like, listen, I rate both drivers, but yeah, guys needs to be careful. Otherwise, boy, the stewards, 2 points. He's got 2 points with license, and he's banned for race. So 4 points. Thank you. So yeah, yes, we'll see. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for now.
Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to you on this as a resident Ferrari fan. Do you, of course, Charles rather shockingly qualified P19. He said it's something wrong with the car. Ferrari said cap. So, do we think it's a skill issue, or do we think there was actually something wrong with the car, or maybe it's a little bit of a mix of both, perhaps?
I think it's a mix of both because he generally was struggling around left-handers, So, and there's data that proves that he was struggling around the left-handers of the track. I also think that they will find out in the next week, because we have a week off before Canada. So the car will go back to the factory. All the pieces will go back, and we will see then properly what actually went wrong. Because obviously they looked over it overnight before Park Ferme or the rules in, before they just changed everything and said, we don't know, so we just changed everything. I think it's a case of that again, because we've seen this before where in Monaco, where he shunted it after quali, they changed parts, but like there was still stuff broken in the car. So it's a thing of you can't trust these guys to necessarily be able to find what the problem was and find a solution as quickly, as efficiently as they should. So I can only say a bit of team, like let's say 90% team, 10% him, because you never know. Like the truth will come out during the week when they get everything back. So that's when we'll know fully on Saturday whether it was his fault or the team's fault. Because I don't know what was going on in practice 3 as well. So
Yeah,
you never know.
Here's the thing, Chris. I just want to ask you though: do you think even if the team found out the truth, even if it's Leclerc or they find out it's themselves with the car, do you think they really will come up with the truth? Because either way, it will kind of hinder themselves. Oh, cool, we've got this issue with the how the car being built. Looks bad on them. Oh, Leclerc binned it. Oh, it's on him as well. So I'm just wondering what your take is as your Ferrari fan.
Yeah, because they're trying to retain the Leclerc services. Whether I agree with that is 50-50. I think they test on market. You know, there's other drivers whose contracts run out in 2024 who, you might want to give them a go. But if Red Versor's come in to kind of retain Leclerc, that's one of his like objectives. So if you're trying to do that and it's a fault of the team, you're gonna have to let the team know, and then you can just kind of pawn it off and be like, "This is Bonotto and his boys' fault," instead of taking full accountability for the issue at hand. So it's one of those things where they kind of have a free hit in this scenario. So if it is the team's fault, we will know and they'll just say the truth. Like there's nothing for them to hide. It's not a situation where they really lose.
Right, thank you, host Kwame, for that question. But yeah, right. Sure. Well, me being here, so I think it's 49% skill issues, 51% team. But hey, I'm gonna leave it to y'all's interpretation. Then. But okay, let's move on to the race, and let's move on to Sergio Perez. So Sergio Perez finished the day at this point in P11. Well, qualified P11, sorry, and then he finished P4, only 3 seconds behind George Russell. Whether there was a few laps additional, maybe he would have caught up to him. Who knows? But hey, I suppose it's a decent recovery job. But that's kind of Checo's back now anyway, and we kind of know what his game's all about. So, Kwame, I'm going to come to you on this. What do you make of Sergio Perez's performance? And do you think he maybe should have done more, especially with how dominant Max was with his win?
Yeah, with Checo, I feel like you kind of summed up there. It was expected of him to do a recovery, performance, and yes, people can say that, yeah, he should have been. I mean, the Mercedes themselves had a good weekend anyway. They were best as the rest. They were very fast, and okay, cool. Yeah, you can expect more from Checo, but I felt like with what he did, was very qualified. Him being P11 just outside the top 10 to make it kind of just outside the podium. There's nothing you can really go into him for. Again, I didn't feel like he would have before this this race today. And if you ask me, do you think if Checo qualified outside the points, do you think he would have got into a podium position? I would say no, just because of the history of Spain being a track where not much really happens. Obviously, this race and the last one as well. To be fair, the racing has been much more. A lot of overtakes we saw today, so opportunities were there, but. Yeah, he didn't make better for me. I wasn't surprised what he did.
Okay. Chris, I know you're not the greatest fan of Sergio Perez. So, do you think he maybe could have done a bit more, whether it be in quali? Of course, in quali could have done a bit more. Do you think maybe his race pace was sufficient enough, or do you think he left a lot on the table?
George Russell started behind him and finished in front of him in a vastly slower car. Your teammate is 20 seconds ahead of like Lewis Hamilton. Your car is amazing. It's a rocket ship. Verstappen has finished every race 1, 2 this season because the car is a rocket ship. You finishing off the podium, there's no excuse. That's not good enough. And it's not even a thing of where, oh yeah, it was someone who qualified P3 or P2 end up ahead of you and some kind of like bad luck with safety cars. No, it was a clean race. Like, you didn't make the moves that needed to be made in that Red Bull that's fast in a straight line. You're talking about struggling behind people. Brother, it's a Red Bull. Like, he needs to do more. He needs to be better, bruv. Like, work is calling at this rate. Because I know Marco, is watching Mercedes and going, look, these men have 2 legit drivers and they're packing Aston Martin. These men were not the best car. So there's no defending Checo's performance this weekend. He came out P11 and now you finished off the podium. It's not good enough, And it's the thing is, these are the fine margins when you're at the top, like when you're dining at the top table, and not like and not just any other racetrack. Yeah, you're at the top. So I can't back it. I can't back it and be like, oh, the performance was fine. It's not good enough. Like, this is like, if you want to do your Fugazi title challenge, you have to finish second every race. You have to finish top 2 and hope something goes wrong for Max. This whole thing is not good enough. And like, I know people will try and defend or come up with excuses for Perez. There's no excuse. This week, the past 2 weekends, this doubleheader has been a stink fest for him. 2 races, you come out with 12 points. Your teammates come out with 50. And you come out with 12 points. It's not good enough.
No, for sure. No. But do you think maybe, because looking at the shots here, so the Red Bull's done medium, hard, soft, and the Make's done soft, medium, soft. So do you think maybe because, the Make's run a faster strategy, maybe you could give him a bit of grace there? Or do you think it's literally just a case of you should have P2 minimum, and the fact that you didn't is just poor, basically?
P3 minimum. So if he finished behind Lewis Hamilton, then I hear it. But Russell started beside you and was how many seconds down the road? That is like 100% skill issue. Like, let's be honest, like, Verstappen was chilling out front, doing whatever, just cutting corners for banter. You can't be that far off. Like, it's just not good enough. And it's one thing where I just sit there and go, it's not good enough for a guy at a top team. Like, he has to do more and it has to be better. He has to be on it every week, consistent, because that's what you're up against. If you want to talk about being world champion or fighting for championships and you believe in your source, you have to be there every week without fail. There's no space for howlers. Because it's not like you're faster than Max, where you could be like, I'm faster than him, so I know if I get 1 and get 2, 3, 4, 5. He doesn't have the capacity for that. So he has to nail P2 every time.
I just want to add in that my thing with Perez is more of, I think the reason why I'm so relaxed with what I just said earlier, because my expectations of him is not high. Like, I hear him say, yeah, championship title. I hear him say, yeah, just trying to compete, but I don't see him as that guy. So because I don't see him as that guy, I don't think, I don't expect him to put up a fight. That makes sense. I know George is better than driving him. I know Lewis is better than driving him. So my thing with Perez is kind of just be content to be the number 2. But obviously, he wants to be that guy. If you're in the fastest car, you're gonna want to win races. You're gonna want to compete. But I don't know if he's got the capacity to do that personally. So we'll see what happens in the season between these two and his future in it. But I'm not impressed. I'm just there, kind of like you did the bare minimum. You were P11. You got to just out the podium. Cool. Yes, Mercedes one of the fastest stretch, but they're gonna. I'm just so meh on Perez, to be honest with you. I'm just so that's what I can say.
I'll add one last thing on Perez. My Perez agenda began because people said he would challenge Max, and I found that to be sacrilege. Like, I don't like Max Verstappen. I'll be open with that, but you gotta respect, your top drivers. It's like, so saying that he would challenge Max, crazy talk, and then it's a kind of thing of, yeah, it's just like, so that's what bore my agenda, and until people just give up and just go, okay, Max is better than that guy, and just kind of just say, we're going to allow the Checo title challenge talk and just sit there and go, look, Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Alpine, whoever you are, whatever team, bring a car that can challenge Mercedes, challenge Red Bull, then we'll talk about the title challenges. Otherwise, Max is going to win stat pad championships. It's like the Michael Schumacher era, but in those years where the Ferrari was just the fastest car. We know what's on. We know what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Let's move on to Mercedes. Now, of course, this was the second time that they brought their updated version of their car, if you want to call it upgrade or not, of the side pods. So, of course, in Monaco, we can really see its full potential, but this weekend we did, and Mercedes managed to get a 2-3 on the podium. So that was a very successful race for them, in my opinion. So, Chris, I'm coming back to you on this. Are Mercedes back, or is this just a case of you got 2 quality drivers in a good car?
Well, because Barcelona's like the testing track and the track where, like, going off what people say is the track that if you're good at Barcelona, you're going to be good pretty much everywhere. So I think they've made a lot of progress. It does help to have 2 good drivers. It does help that their simulator boy is putting in work as well. So, like, even if things are wrong on the Friday, they have someone in the simulator working all night to get the things set up correct for Saturday. So it's a case of they've got everything in hand, ready to kind of, cook. So, but it all depends on what happens in the next race, because I know Aston Martin got something ready for Canada. So they're in a war with Alonso in terms of being second fastest, because Ferrari, the less said about them, the better. So, like, I think they're back into P2, and I think they have a good starting point to really, start bridging the gap to Red Bull and understanding like what to do, and their mid-season development is very strong. So I think that there's something there. They're not back, but they're on the right road for the first time in like 2 years. They're on the right path.
Yeah, for sure. Kwame, I know it's a very small sample size, but do you think, and from what you've seen in this weekend's race, do you think Mercedes can get P2, or do you think there's still a long way to go, especially with Aston Martin, whether Ferrari will get that act together, that sort of thing? Or do you think, Mercedes, if you keep on this current trajectory, they'll probably secure P2? Because as Chris said, it's actually 2 against 1 in terms of Aston Martin. We know who the one is, to be honest. And then Ferrari is just like, who wants to be a bozo? And it's flip of a coin, isn't it? If it's not Charles, it's Sainz. If it's not Sainz, it's Mercedes doing the mad thing. It's not him, it's fucking Lana Mekies or whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's that's my question, yeah.
I'm about to say, I think it's possible. Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, the gap between Mercedes are currently in P2 anyways. After this race, so what 18 points between. So it's looking likely that if they get that together, if they're consistent, like Chris said, with Barcelona being before they brought in Bahrain, that was the main testing track. You got high, you got straight on speed there. You got straight, You have got fast corners, got slow corners. Listen, they look good today, especially Lewis during qualifying, and George and Lewis both having good race pace. Again, like I said, they've got two competent drivers compared to the other teams around them. We're speaking of Aston Martin, only got one. Red Bull, yes, they're away. They've gone away, but they've only really got one main guy in Max as well. So I'm not saying they're going to compete with Red Bull. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like they should. Let's not get carried ahead of ourselves here. But if they keep up everything, then they should hopefully be comfortable in P2. But again, it's just one race. We have to wait and see what the other teams do with upgrades, especially Aston Martin. But yeah, it's looking good from Mercedes at the moment. It's looking good. It's good to see as well that they've fixed up and they've on the right path. They've got a solid basis to go off essentially.
Yeah, I think Canada, for me, will decide if a certain cast member is correct about the whole side pods thing, to be honest. There's a part of me who wants him to be wrong, but obviously there's a part of me who wants Mercedes to do well. So it's a bit like, I don't know. It's a funny one.
I'm surprised that cast member hasn't talked more, to be honest with you. Instead, he's going for, let me not speak. But yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't, complimented them.
I told you so. Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than going on the.
It's because his driver, his boyfriend, is stinking out the drain, so you can't talk to him because it will cook him there. So he knows what's up.
So yeah, he knows what's up. He knows what's happening. But cool. Let's move on to certain man's boyfriend and Carlos Sainz Senior's son, and that is Ferrari. So Ferrari managed to qualify P2 and P19. They different contrasting results. But they finished, what was it, P5, P12, was it? P11? Yeah, P5, P11. So, Kwame, I'm going to come to you on this. What did you make of Ferrari's performance this weekend?
It was pretty mediocre. It was pretty mediocre. I can't lie. Just mid. Charles, I would have expected more from him, to be fair. Yes, he caught up P19, so I wasn't going to be deluded expecting a podium, but he didn't even get to the points, and he was stuck in a battle between mainly Gasly, Tsunoda, and Zhou. So the fact that that's the competition there, and you were struggling to get past, saying that Gasly's slapping faster than me, I can't overtake him. Listen, like the five got fast car in Alpine, so especially you, Leclerc, meant to be generational talent as well. It was underwhelming performance. It was like I expect more from him, especially in the track where on paper you think the five got a balanced car, they've got a fast car, you think that they would be there, but he was struggling to get past an Alpine and then an Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri. That was his competition for the race. That's you're looking at Ferrari meant to be what the second best team, third best team. It's not looking good. And then Sainz again, he was kind of, I guess, I don't say by himself, but he was at a gap between Perez and then Stroll. So he's kind of raced his own race, but again, you expect him to be more closer to where, especially him being the second row, and the fact that you've got Perez and George both, lap faster than you. It was just a very mid race for them. Like they didn't do well at all.
Look at Chris.
No, I was ready to get the slander off, bro. He's weird. He's starving for it, bro.
Fucking hell. Oh God, yeah, Chris. So what did you think of then Leclerc's performance on the Saturday, not the Saturday, the Sunday, sorry, because obviously we already spoke about the Saturday. Do you think? Because I'm just looking at the strategy just now, right? So he Bottas and Zhou, they went for the soft, hard, not in that order sort of strategy, right? And do you think that was the best strategy for Leclerc? Do you think they maybe should have? Because I don't know if he had spare mediums. To be honest.
Oh no! Did you know what's funny? You know when
What?
Leclerc pitted for his last set of hards, yeah. So he's
Yeah.
gone around saying, "Oh, box this lap." Xavi's like, "Box this lap. We are putting the hards," and then Leclerc's like, "No, I want softs." And then Xavi's like, "Okay, we'll come back to you." And then Leclerc's like, "So are we still boxing?" Xavi's like, "Yes." And then he's pulling into the things, yeah. And then he goes, "We are putting on hards." They flat out ignored his entire thing, bruv. And you know how normally I got to look up and be like, "Oh, you don't put your brain up a strategy, whatever."
Yeah.
These man just doing it, they ignored them and said, "Yeah, we're putting on hards. Yeah, we're good." Yeah.
I said, hold that. Just hold that.
So I was like,
no mediums or soft for you. Hold that.
I mean, the worst thing is though, they even look that fast on the softs as well. That's the thing. So,
Well,
he did more laps on the softs in his middle stint than did on the hards in his first stint. These men are not making any sense. Like, the thing is, I know Ferrari cooks its tires, and that's why I did expect a good performance. And that's why when we did the predictions, in the group chat, I did not put signs on the podium because I said Ferrari's going to eat its tires. So I don't expect anything from them, man. But Lord, it's really bad. And it's just Leclerc wasn't good. Like, he wasn't fast enough. And there's no excuse for him not being out of the points. Like, I get not coming in the top 7 or whatever because Ferrari is not that good, but you gotta be beating Zhou and Gasly and Tsunoda. Like, actually, maybe not. Well, Gasly can maybe get away with it because the Alpine's not that bad, but Zhou and Tsunoda, you gotta beat those guys, man. So, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, right? So I'm just looking at like the stints, right? So who went the longest on each compound and who did the fastest lap? So Charles had the third fastest lap on hards. He did a 118.357, and the fastest lap on the hards was Alonso, was basically 118 dead. So there was a bit of pace on the hards for him. I don't know how he was consistently over that. I just know what his fastest lap was. And he did do the joint longest stint on the softs with 25 laps alongside Alonso and George. So I get why he wants to maybe the softs again, but I don't know if he ran out or...
No, he had enough, but he went out in Q1. He had softs for days.
Of course. He would have had hella softs, yeah. Like, mate, also any softs that he just poles? Yeah, true. My bad. Yeah, true. But yeah, it's just... yeah, this is the history of Ferrari, you know what I mean? Like, man is asking for softs. He's got bare softs. And they're like, we'll get back to you like it's customer service. Yeah, we'll get back to you. And they're like, well, what are not hot? And now, he was in the dad and sad when he slapped the heart up because you think, fuck my life, it can't get no worse. And he's juggling with Alpha Rails number 2 and fucking Yuki. But you're meant to be the top of the tree talent. And it's like, bro, it's like, come on. Do you know what I mean? It's just, actually, I don't care how shit that card is, bro. Like, you should be at least beating them. Do you know what I mean?
Also, we might need to up Zhou. Zhou might not be Alfa Romeo's number 2. He has 2 points finishes this season to Bottas' 1. Like, Bottas might be ahead in the standings, but boy, performances. Yeah.
Interesting.
But back on Ferrari. That man stink, bruv. They're annoying me, bruv. You man sacked Bonotto for this. This is disgraceful.
It's true, you know, when you think about it, why did they sack Bonotto then? Yeah, this is what they're doing.
They sacked Bonotto to hire Freddie V to appease Charles, but they've gone worse and they're doing worse things than they were doing when Bonotto was there. At least when Bonotto was there, you could be that, okay, next season we'll fix the race team. But the people building the car have gotten worse and the race team is just as bad. You've gone backwards. They're like...
I know. I mean, is it because the thing is getting rid of Bonotto as team principal makes sense, but getting rid of him altogether out of the organization didn't make sense. But understand if you're being team principal for a number of years, you might want to not go back down to working on engines again, especially if you've been there 25, 30 years or whatever it was. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, mad long since since Kwame was -10. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like been there mad long.
You can see the videos, yeah. I think it was Michael and Suzuki. You can see Bonotto's there. I'm like, bro, he's been there forever.
Part of the fabric, and yeah. So I mean, I get why maybe they brought maybe not why they brought Freddie V in, but maybe someone else in with team principal experience because they want a leader in, someone with better leadership qualities. But you brought man in, and then Ferrari still look a mess. So then it's like, what's man doing? Is it politics? Obviously, there's always politics, but is it just more maybe than usual?
I think it's politics in that case, to be honest with you. We've seen his work at Sauber / Alfa Romeo. I wasn't really too impressed. Okay, you've seen his work when he was there for a season, but again, I haven't seen his resume and I thought, oh, that guy is going to be the Ferrari team principal.
Okay, his stint at Alfa Romeo is underrated, but that's just because Sauber was in such a big mess when he arrived there and he fixed things. They're not good, but like it was a joke of an F1 team to still a joke, but for different reasons. But Ferrari is not. It was like he's what they needed, but he's not what they needed at the same time. He's someone that he works with Bonotto instead of replacing Bonotto, and that's the problem that Ferrari have.
That's fair enough. I feel like with Alfa Romeo, it's a good point. I feel like he did stabilize that team because they were bankrupt. They were all over the place. He's the one that got the Alfa Romeo door that kind of stabilized them. They might have to go with Honda just after McLaren, so it wouldn't have probably worked out. So he did fix a lot of things in the team, to be fair, in the background team. But I don't think he pushed the team to where they could have been. But yeah, I agree with your point in the sense that it could have been different if they kept Bonotto in.
Yeah, they had a bit of a mare. I think they should have just awkwardly gave Bonotto more money to just downgrade him back to what he knows best, to be honest with you. So to just get rid of him. I don't know, maybe he said he just wants a break completely from Ferrari. I don't know, because when you've been somewhere for a long time, I understand maybe you want to change the scenery or you just want a break. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. Chris is on Italiano Twitter, so he knows better than me, you know. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was the case, but yeah, they had a howler because when you think about it, last year's car, at the start of last year, that was a very good car. It was chatting to the Red Bulls. Do you know what I mean? Of course, the TD came in and then it kind of like fucked them over a bit, but it's not like they're incapable of building a front running car or one that can chat to the Red Bulls, in this era. So. Yeah, I suppose they're gonna give Freddie V more time, and then I don't know, maybe get rid of him, and then I don't know, switch him out, I guess. But yeah, not a good weekend for Ferrari at all. But let's move on to another team, and that is Aston Martin. So Aston Martin qualified 6th with Stroll and 9th with Alonso. That's the first time Stroll's qualified Alonso. And in the race, they finished 6th and 7th. Alonso could have easily overtaken Stroll, but he wanted to do the slicking thing of tell Alonso not to worry. I won't overtake him and all this bollocks. Trying to get that bonus in it. You know what I mean? Alonso giving him a little cheeky offer ticket bonus. Making the son look good and all that.
When you're on probation at work, innit?
You know that was it.
You know that was it. Work, so you're turning up to all the work drinks and you're going, oh, how's your son to your boss and that? Like you're being nice.
How's little Tommy?
Exactly. You're like, oh, I saw your daughter's wedding. It was lovely. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
You know that was it. Hey, so it was that hit home, man. But yeah, Chris, I'm gonna come to you on this. What did you make of Aston Martin's performances again, especially Alonso, in terms of qualifying, because he basically sabotages on qualifying, didn't he? So I'm gonna let you cook anyway. I'm gonna let you cook, Alonso.
All right, so this was like the big weekend of the Monaco's P2, where if they got the strategy right, they could have won the race. So like they're coming with optimism for 33. We see the videos of man outside shouting Alonso, like Alonso, 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 Alonso. Just to see man drive off the road in the last corner, wreck his floor, and qualify P8. These men were mending his floor between each quali run. They're just fixing the floor in between each quali run. Qualifies behind his teammate, and then has a mid race. And people will go, you know, they just didn't have the setup correct, yada 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 yada. But they should have beat Carlos Sainz. Sainz did not have a good race. That car is better than the Ferrari. This is a high tire wear track. The Ferrari's going to eat its tires. You should be beating that guy. But your qualifying let you down. And this is something that I brought up to people early in the season. I said, Alonso's qualifying ain't hitting too much. It's going to come back to bite him. And look, it's happened today. It's like, I'm not saying he's going to finish on the podium, but like, it's like, as the field gets closer and things start to stabilize and normalize, and like, we should be getting less bozo moments. These things kind of matter. And Stroll did all right, you know, good start, a nice move on Lewis at the beginning, you know. He did his thing. But I don't expect much. His pace wasn't anywhere, and he did Lance Stroll things, and Alonso was comfortably faster than him. So, yeah, one of the things was like, this was one of the races where I think everyone was hyping Alonso, just not necessarily to win the race, but just to be on the podium and reward the fans. And they've gone home unhappy with their drivers with him being P7. So I'm good. I'm content. My heart is warm. I've been suffering this season. The guy got too many podiums already, bro. I've had enough.
That's my heart is warm, you know. Fucking hell. Oh, fair enough, man. But yeah, Kwame, I'm gonna come to you on this. Do you think putting Alonso on, what was it? Was it soft, hard strategy?
Yeah, the strategies were a bit weird for me. Because I think they did alternate with Stroll. They did hard, soft with Stroll. They did soft, hard with Alonso, if I'm not mistaken. And I guess they felt like because they weren't fighting with the Rebels and Mercedes, I felt like they thought that'd be something different. But I sat there thinking to myself, I wasn't sure if that was the right move. I felt like the right move to do was the soft and hard and soft, rather than ending. Yeah, the strategy to me was a bit questionable. I get they wanted to do something to qualifying, but they weren't even that fast in qualifying, because even when he went off the track and he damaged his floorboard, they said they only lost around 3 tenths. So he still would have been in the same place, if not just above Hulkenberg. So I don't know much have happened there. Stroll was just doing... it's another average performance, I feel like, from Aston Martin. But yeah, the strategy, I mean, also came out and said it wasn't strategy. It wasn't, they were just slow. And that, you know, you don't want to take risks this weekend. You just want to score the points. But I just felt like it was just not it for them today. I don't know what's up or what, but it's... Home Grand Prix as well. You spent better, man.
Yeah, home Grand Prix, and yeah, that's first time Alonso's finished lower than P4 this season, which is quite ironic, to be fair. But yeah, on the softs, yeah, we didn't look that good. We looked much better on the hards, to be fair. I don't know why, because with Stroll, it was the exact same strategy. It was a case of soft, hard. I don't know why they decided to go for that strategy. God knows, but yeah, had an absolute howler day. I don't think we would have got a podium anyway, to be honest. Or even got. Yeah, I don't think we would have got a podium anyway. So P6, P7, despite a bad strategy and lack of pace, It's not the worst thing in the world, to be honest with you. Could have been a lot.
I mean, I feel like Aston Martin made the best out of the worst opportunity in a sense.
That situation,
yeah, they got the points on double finish. Like, you can't go wrong. But when, like you said, when you've previously got top P4 or above in every race, you've been getting podium majority of this season so far. It does look bad. I guess yes, cool. An off day was going to come soon, but to happen now, it does look a bit damning. But we'll see again what happens, during the season. I think they'll be fine. They'll go fast car, but it's just a bad weekend for them.
All right. I'm gonna say one thing. Before the race, before the weekend, Alonso was talking about titles and saying, when I drove like this in 2010 and 2012, I was in the title battle. Like, I don't see why it could happen again. Yada yada yada. So him to say that and finish P7 and have the worst weekend of the season, you like it? I love it.
In the words of Mariah, you like it? I love it. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. Yeah.
You start to believe, and it's all gone wrong. I love this game, man.
Man's doing Ted Lasso hype, That's... Oh shit! Oh, fair enough, man. Fair enough. But yeah, let's move on to the rest of the grid. So let's see what was interesting over the rest of the grid. Of course, Yuki. Of course, he was in I think P8 was it, and then he got a questionable penalty to knock him down to P12. To be honest, that was unfortunate. Guan Yu Zhou finishing the points, P9. Yeah, quite surprising there. Alpine, they left with something. P8, P10. Who else is there? Haas. We need to speak on Haas. Because Hulkenberg fell off an absolute cliff. Hulkenberg finished, what was it? Let me bring it up. He qualified P8, which boosted him to P7. Somehow finished P15. I don't know what happened there. Maybe Chris knows. He's still keeping an eye on Gunter. One eye open when I'm sleeping. One. One eye. Oh shit! Right, it's okay. Let me bring up Martz as well. Martz came in, fresh G-Wagoner. Martz, hello there, brother. How are we today? Nice and late.
I know. I was saying about that, lads. Well, what can you do? What can you do, man? Shopping champers. Have we spoken about the boys already?
We've actually spoken about the top 4 teams already, yes. But if you want to give a little rundown,
well, you know what?
Anyone in particular?
Here's my monologue, innit? Because I'm happy, man. I'm happy. You know why? W14B. Do you know what the B stands for?
I bitches. Oh.
I was gonna say Badina, but you know what? It's safe, isn't it? So finally gave my boy a Badina from Dr. Miami. Yeah, no more flat back. Yeah, we don't do that no more.
Kwame.
No more. Hey, listen. They gave my boy. You know when you go to Dr. Miami, yeah. The cheeks and the thighs, yeah, the ratio is good. There's none of this. Yeah, and it just
Khloe Kardashian.
yeah, there's none of that.
Otherwise, I go 0 and I go 0 like a P, the letter P.
Exactly, no P. This is it's a nice round, just like that. You get me?
Ratio's
on point. That card's beautiful, man. They're gonna do some good things. I can feel it. You know, I was watching what was that movie? Air yesterday, yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah, good movie. 7 out of 10. Solid 7 out of 10. Solid. And he was talking about when he saw Michael Jordan, the first thing he saw was greatness, yeah. And he said, I have to get that guy. I looked at that card today and I see that same greatness, yeah. I can smell number 8. I can smell it now. It's coming. It's coming. 2024, we're going to be there. I am telling you that now. Mark this date right now, the 4th of June, 2023 at 9:11. Oh, Speaking of 9/11, we don't want to mention that other terrorist, but anyway.
Damn! No.
Hey, the thing is, I was ready to go. Yeah, Martz was talking about Lewis number 8. I was ready to go. I was ready to end the sermon and say, "Amen." Yeah, I manifest it. Yeah, and then Martz goes stop cooking George. Like, damn.
Hey,
I
listen,
was ready
yeah.
to be like,
We need to talk
with
about
you.
these young
Amen
white
again.
British boys. These young white British boys, yeah. They don't want to see black men win. Yeah. Because when they see us get a Badina, what did they go and do? They try and go and ruin the thing. We can't have nothing for ourselves in this day and age, can we? Not one thing. They don't want us to podcast. They don't want us to do nothing, bro. They go on to us about everything. They gave my boy a Badina, and the 2 young British boys went and tried to crash it on him. Why? Why? You don't know how to use your mirrors? You don't know how to drive? You don't know how you can't see space? Where did you get your license from? Where? Come on, man. He probably did. We saw the terrorism George was doing, so that's probably where it come from, isn't it? But yeah, man. Nah, that P2, that was good. And to do on Alonso's home turf. Where's Rafa? Because he's always talking loud. He's been talking loud, but today he's quiet. He's quiet.
So
Can you hear that? Can you hear that? I can't either. Exactly.
It's the cheeks clapping for Lewis. It's P2. That's all I can hear.
That's it.
Make it clap. Well, Martz, thanks for your quick interlude. It's a good little interlude. I like that. Especially that 9/11 bar. That was slick. That. I like that. But now,
this is all in God's timing. He just knew. He just knew.
Man said, God did.
God did.
Right, okay. Let's move on to the rest of the grid. So, I will come to you on this, Chris. I know you want to speak on Haas. And actually, yeah, I want an explanation for Haas because why did they fall off a cliff? Like, why for that?
Because they use Ferrari spare parts and Ferrari cooked their tires, so Haas are going to cook their tires even worse. But Hülkenberg also does not have good race pace, and it's been showing. Because you know how I got onto Bottas for having less points finishes than Zhou? Hülkenberg's done the same thing with Magnussen. Like, people get onto Magnussen, but he's finishing the points in more races than Hülkenberg. Like, the guy keeps on going backwards every race, involved in silly incidents. It's like you're here to do experience, but you're not leading the team anywhere. Like they brought you in to lead the team. Where are they going? Like, what's going on? The team's still going backwards. So, I like the pit stops are still bad. Like, these men were having howler after howler, bruv. I thought they bought new equipment, bruv.
Need new guns.
They bought the new guns. I don't know what's going on. You got MoneyGram money. I'm seeing
Jealous money.
Yeah, I'm seeing Naomi Schiff wear Palm Angels and Haas merch. Yeah, I'm like,
I think that's what they should call the W14B, Naomi Schiff.
I see that. I see the vision. Still.
Black Beauty.
Right. Do we want to speak on maybe like McLaren? They had a bit of a stinker. P13 for Piastri, P17 for Norris, but obviously, you know, he messed up his front wing, didn't he? So, do you want to speak on McLaren? Have any thoughts with them? I think, you know.
I mean, the qualifying was A1, to be fair. But I feel like they got a sweet spot in Quali. In sense that every kind of just fell for them in Quali. So the conditions, other teams having stinkers. So Leclerc, Perez, Russell, and they just kind of ate of that, and they did well. But then the race, unfortunately for them, it fell off. And yeah, similar again to add on to his points with Hülkenberg as well. Got into Q3 and then just fell off, which I don't. Okay, I know Norris crashed. I know Norris crashed into Lewis, and then that kind of impacted his race. But yeah, I know they've had some upgrades, but yeah, their race pace, unfortunately for them, just wasn't it. But Quali, they can definitely have a round of applause for that, because I don't think everyone's expecting them to be the high in Quali. So don't show the time they're driving.
No comment. Bob was telling you. Sorry. Do you like to speak on Alpine PAP10? Left with something?
Yeah. I can speak about the boys in blue. I mean, I felt like again, Ocon kind of did what was expected of him. He didn't do anything wrong today. He he tried to fought off Alonso pretty well, to be fair. Nothing wrong with that defensive maneuver. Just to say, and Gasly. Again, he did fire up the grid until he got stuck in traffic with Zhou and Yuki. But again, he did capitalize off the penalty. So got a point, step out of P10. You got to take that. And yeah, Ocon got a P8. Ocon did a good job. Nothing wrong with it. He just drove his joke and put the points home.
Yeah. Martz, would you like to speak on the Tsunoda penalty? Do you think that was fair, or do you think it was unjust?
Justice for Yuki. That's what we're saying, man. That was nothing, man. He made one move, and then to the outside to block Joe from going down there. Then going into turn 2. Was it turn 2?
Yeah, something like that,
yeah. Yeah, he kind of like he didn't really squeeze Joe. He gave him enough room, and Joe was just not good enough to make the move. And then Joe had to take it off track. That's it, really. When you're not good enough to do something, you're gonna say you pushed you off track. If you give Max that type of opportunity, Max takes it and he's ahead. You give most other top 10 drivers that opportunity. A lot of them take that and they go ahead. Yuki takes that and goes ahead, but obviously Joe's not at that level. And listen, as I said, I'm not a Joe hater. I'm not a Joe lover either. So it is what it is. But I definitely think that penalty was a bit was very harsh, and it's seen as it's something that happens all the time as well in F1. And they kind of just let it go and put it down as a racing incident. It's just it just didn't make sense. There's at least about 3 feet, 4 feet of space there. And he never pushed him off track at all. Because even when Yuki when he looked like Yuki was going to push him off track, kind of went back out as well, just to give him a bit more room. So it was, I think it's something AlphaTauri should really like bring their notebook and show the evidence that, this has happened before. It's happened at other tracks. Obviously, it happened earlier in the race with Max and Sainz, and nothing was done. I know people say that's an opening lap, so they don't really do that. But again, it's not like it's a serious thing to be coming down on, and giving 5-second penalty. And obviously, he's going to get 2 penalty points on top of that. It's very harsh.
Yeah, that's very harsh indeed. Because he doesn't even turn on, man. So I don't even know why he even got the penalty. But
I can explain why he got a penalty and why Max didn't get a penalty. It's because Joel was it's the same reason why George didn't get a penalty for his lap 1 thing. Joel was technically ahead at the crossover point between turn 1 and 2. So him kind of bailing the corner was a business decision that was smart, and then you cry on the radio about it. And because he was technically ahead, if he feels like he was pushed off, he's entitled to space.
That's like them fouls James Harden used to get, man.
Yeah, no, that's what he done.
It's not even, that's not even a real thing, man. It's just
that's what he done.
I hear what you're saying,
but it's like the same reason why Sainz, there was nothing on Max and Sainz, because Sainz pulled out so early that Max pushing him off like that and going to the edge of the road didn't matter, because Max was ahead by like the apex. So it's kind of thing of, if Sainz had been bothered to try and hang it around the outside properly and gone deep into the corner, if Max runs in right like that, Max gets a penalty. But because he pulled off, so broke so early, Max doesn't get a penalty for it, and it's not even looked at. It's really fine margins. It doesn't make sense, but I understand the steward's decision behind it. I don't necessarily
You're
agree, but I understand.
I just
Like, it
remember you're a
makes sense.
Yuki hater.
I am, but I'm not
Whatever you
Nam
say
or
is
Anik.
inadmissible.
I'm not Nam or Anik. I told the truth. I've said he's driven well this season. I'm just waiting. Come there going, look.
Waiting for what, bruv? He's there. He's here now. He's not in a simulator like your boy. Well, I know. Well done to your boy. You got praise from Lewis today for helping fix the car for the weekend.
He's done his job, bruv. Look, you see Danny Rick, yeah? Danny Rick's helmet mark was going, hey, Danny Rick's not good in the simulator. Total Wolf's like, yo, Mick's doing decent lap times. So,
Decent.
boy, he says they're all
In a
close.
simulator.
He said they're all close. I said, bruv, Danny Rick's not getting that.
They had to fix Danny Rick's driving. That's what the going was. So, be interesting to see who's quick in a simulator, Danny Rick or Mick.
It'll be Mick, bruv. Danny Rick has washed.
You didn't say that with any confidence at all.
I have full confidence in Mick.
Still no confidence.
I have full confidence.
Put some bass in your voice. It's when you say it.
I'm relaxed. Like, I'm waiting on Williams to sack Logan, yeah, and then we'll put him next to Albon and we'll cook that guy too. People are getting a bit too confident on Albon, innit? Your stat padding gets Latifi and Sargent, bro. We saw what happened when you get a real driver and Max Verstappen, bro. They raced me so hard.
Your boy was getting cooked by Mazepin at points. Don't start talking about Albon.
Hey. Verstappen lost to Perez in Baku. Like, sometimes you lose to a driver that's worse than you. It happens.
And that was only Silverstone, to be fair. Come on. He was slapping minutes on his head. Well.
Pardon?
Cooked him in Russia as well.
Mick DNF for engine failure.
Still cooked him.
You are disgusting. This is nasty work, Martz. Fucking hell. Actually, you know what, Martz, got a question for you, yeah? The Mercedes number 2 seat, yeah? Would you rather had George Russell or Mick Schumacher?
Oh, God.
You can't deviate. You've got to pick one.
You know what, yeah. I'll take... Because I need a competent driver next to him, I'll take Russell. But I don't like it. Like, sometimes, you know, like...
You like how I love it.
Yeah, like, but you know, it's not even that. It's like, you know, like how Goku and Vegeta had to sometimes team up, like to fight Piccolo. It's like he didn't want to, yeah, but you know, you kind of have to. You can't. He couldn't. Goku couldn't go up with what's his face? Was it Gohan or Krillin? That's it. You couldn't team up with Krillin. You'll get washed. You had to go with Vegeta, man.
I hear it, man. I hear that still. But okay. I think that's it for the rest of the grid. Let's move on to driver of the day. So, Martz, who's your driver of the day?
I will go with Lewis Hamilton. Sir Lewis Hamilton. Actually, I had to think about it for a second because I don't know if he was actually driver of the day. But
yeah, I hear Checo got it or something.
No, I thought Lewis got it. Lewis got it.
Lewis got it, yeah.
Yeah, I seen Lewis officially got it, but people kept saying Checo got it.
Checo was ahead in like
he was ahead of the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
But Checo obviously made up a lot of places, I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I'll give it to Lewis. I think Lewis, yeah. Solid race today. And you know what? He actually, like, he pulled away from the rest of the guys as well. Like, he was, finished 8 seconds ahead of George. So,
something like that, yeah.
I think, yeah, to be able to do that, and it wasn't even because of that pit stop anything, that was just pure pace. So, I think, yeah, that's a good one.
Cool. Kwame, drivers of the day.
Yeah, I'll give it to Lewis as well. Yeah, I feel like he had a very composed race. He did what he needed to do, didn't put nothing really wrong. Again, drove away from the rest of the pack, did what he had to do, got the P2 home. And yeah, from obviously where he qualified, again, yes, he qualified in P5, but he made the progress he needed to do on other drivers today who had setbacks, but he didn't make the progress. So yeah, I'll give it to Lewis.
Cool. And Chris.
Zhou, he got in points in Alfa Romeo. That's not a good racing institution, and he dicked on Bottas the entire weekend. So I'm giving it to him. It was a good performance, and it's one thing where him and his battles with Yuki were good entertainment as well. So, like, I don't like the guy. I have an agenda against him, but I don't come on this pod to lie. So, yeah, he can get driver of the day.
You say Mick is going to get this Williams seat, so you do lie.
Hey, man, I can see what Toto's cooking, bro. I can see what Toto's
Go
cooking.
talk to your pastor. Go talk to your pastor and repent.
Fucking hell. Right, let's move on to the Latifi Awards. Fuck me. Martz, who's your Latifi?
Who could I give it to? There's so many candidates, man. I mean, there's the Ferrari boys behind me. That's what this is all about. They were awful. They were awful. And this wasn't even just, that wasn't about the car. That was just them being awful. And Alonso, your home race buddy. They're all starting, Fernando Alonso. Hey. So, but I think I'm going to give it to Leclerc, because that qualifying yesterday was just horrific. And then you didn't even do anything about it today. That is just terrible. And you lost me points in the predictions because I said you'll get top 7, idiot.
Howler. I said no. And guess what? God did. But yeah.
I had signs in top 3 as well, you know.
Hey, same Howler, man. Oh, I'm scared the whole one.
See, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have size in top 3. I didn't have Leclerc in the points. I do not believe in that institution.
I thought they could at least do something on today, you know, but oh well.
Yeah, oh well. Fucking man. Kwame, let's see if you order.
Oh, boy. It's too many people. The Ferrari's got honorable mention. Alonso's got honorable mention. I hate to do it to myself, but you know what? I've been looking, and I'm slowly being disappointed by the performance today by Hulkenberg. I thought P8. I'm starting to see enough now with his qualities, and it's starting to, blind me. Like I've still got faith in him. I still got faith that his race will come back, but that this drop off, it's been consistent as well. I need to know if it's the car or him, but it's not good because it's not happening to his teammate. It's not happening to K-Mag as much as where K-Mag is getting to Q3. K-Mag will be getting Q1. You'll stay about where he is. But Hulk, it's been happening a bit too much where I need that. At least do a young Truly train where he's same position, hold the rest of the field. He ain't even doing that. So
you say train?
Truly train. Yeah, add context.
Martz flashbacks.
No, not me, man. No, I need to go see Chris's pastor.
My brain is cleansing. Fucking hell. Oh my god. Chris, who's your Latifi, bro? Oh my god.
I don't even. You know what? Give it Bottas, bro. He's been rubbish. Bottas. I don't know who else has been like Alonso. It's a bit hate-ish. So yeah, I'll give it Bottas.
That's fair.
He's there doing, I'll slow them down, trying to do team radio. You're just slow, bro. Don't say I'll slow them down. If you had pace, you'd be like within 2 seconds of Joe. You were 5 seconds back. Like, stay calm, man.
Halama. Yeah, I think for me it's close between Hulk and Leclerc, but the reason why I'll give it to Shaw, not for agenda, it's just because you couldn't even score a point. Like, bro, like I think you finished with like a second of Gasly. Like, you couldn't even score a point, bro. I think if he maybe finished like P9, P8, I might allow him, but like, yeah, he didn't even look quick at all. Just struggling in this with them rough riders, you know what I mean? You know, them man caught in the field, he's struggling. He's like, yeah, I'm not fitting with you with this. Then when Justin Bieber went to ends and he had to do press ups and all shit like that. That's what Leclerc was doing in that midfield, boy. That's what Leclerc was doing there. He was struggling. I said, yo, man, I'm gonna have to, without agenda, I'm gonna have to give this him with Hawk a close second. But yeah, let's move on to listeners' questions. So the first one is of D Conscience. What happened with Norris? Well, short one, you know, and then just go make up.
That's what happens when you try to take a man's Badina away from him, innit?
Also signs that this is all your fault as well. Because why are you going so slow? Like,
True.
Why is this guy braking so hard?
Oh,
True. That is the true. Right, let's move to the next question. Also, Justice for Yuki, was that a penalty? We already answered that. We basically said no. Next one is off. This is Ducks and Quack now, but he's got a new art now. Season Steiner. And his question is, McLaren, will they finish above Alpine this season?
They have to hope their upgrade cooks. But
if it's not cooking at Barcelona, is it ever going to cook?
They got more comment. That's the thing. So it depends when these upgrades, when this apparent B spec of a car will come through. Basically, it depends on how good that is.
Right?
Oh wait, this isn't a B spec car.
So the B spec came at Baku. This is another like a big upgrade.
So they're doing like Ferrari and coming out Plan C, Plan D.
Pretty much.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. I don't want to ask Mahad. He's resident. What's his name?
McLaren Fan TV on Tuesday, I think. Did he Tuesdays?
Yes, every Tuesday. Right, okay. Let's move on to next question of this. But there's actually 4 questions. Fuck, you know. Let's run for the first one. So this is off MLG Sports 123. How much longer can Checo continue this run of form before questions are asked of him by team officials? So it's Checo's job on the line.
I mean, questions are being asked of him, man. I mean, what's the question Horner today? You know, like the fans of the media we're smelling it. We know you're not that guy. But when Red Bull clock, the moment he cracked was on the team radio. That's when he says, he'll come over the lines of saying, I'm not feeling comfortable with what you're telling me to guys to do. You're pushing me out of my comfort zone, and then they'll go with him. As soon as his mentality switches and he's like, okay, cool, I cannot compete with Max, and I think that's when they'll get rid of him.
They gave him a new contract for next year anyway, already, innit?
Yes, they have done, but I don't think he will.
I think the thing is, with them, when it comes to Checo, he wins races. And for the most part, he probably could have got a podium if it wasn't for the traffic that he got into and that absolutely cooked his tires. So, he probably could have got a podium for that near the end. So it kind of just depends, really, what he's on.
It depends on.
He's been a good teamer.
It depends on Yuki. If Yuki drives well and doesn't make mistakes and doesn't have more of those type of Saturdays, the seat's his to take.
Yeah, I think because obviously they want to clear space for the 2 boys in F2 at the moment, innit? So
yeah,
I think he'll only come under pressure if they're under pressure in the constructors, really, because other than that, I don't really. Unless Steve said to him, okay, we want you to finish P2 in the championship to check out. don't really see why he'd be under much
He
pressure.
has to, man. He will be on pressure because if somehow this season he doesn't finish P2 in the drivers, and last season he didn't finish P2, it's scary because Max is winning these championships at a canter. So you not finishing P2 is really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're just going to have to watch the space, aren't we? So, yeah, next question. How much longer can Haas get away with dropping like a stone on Sundays? I mean, it's a valid question, isn't it? Because you can't already answer that for me, basically. Because he's a Ferrari
not any longer, but people don't care because Gunter's funny and he gets in trouble by the FIA. So no one cares. But I'm watching. There's still the same problems I had last year, this year. So, boy.
But so he's running around tricking y'all, yeah? He's laughing people into bed.
Yeah. Because like the good PR run with his book and that, gathered some sympathy. But now I've watched the Haram in HD.
4K.
I'm back on 4K. I'm back on the. Hey, what are you man doing?
I think the only way we can really see this is how many points they have last season at this point. Well, I can't really say this point, but you say by Silverstone, how many points they have by that point versus how much they did last year. And if it's more, then obviously they made the right decision in getting rid of those drivers that they did. But if it's not, then you can see it's actually deep-seated problems. Maybe Haas just aren't as good as people might have hoped to be. Like, yeah, the money's coming in, but if your engineers are still crap, it can be a problem as well.
I guess it'll be all contextual at the end of the day, though, when comparing stats. But at the moment, they've only got 8 points, which is...
Well, they had more at this point last year, innit?
Less. So last year, they had more points and Mick hadn't even scored a point.
Yes, you're right.
Well, no, would it be... When you say at this point, do you mean after 6 races or after Barcelona? Because remember, we've already missed 2 races this season. 3. Wait, 2 races we haven't had, innit?
Yeah, 2. China and Himalaya.
Imola.
It would have been even 6 races. Even because they started really well last season and then just fell off.
Actually, no, it was around Canada Silverstone time. Yeah, it was around this period where Mick started to actually pick up.
Yeah, because K-Mag scored a P5 was it in Bahrain, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Mick didn't score points till Austria.
Yeah.
So I can't remember how many points he got for P5.
I thought he didn't score points to Canada.
No, he was running in the points and his engine blew up and then he started kicking the car.
Howler, man. Big
Had gone.
Howler, man. But yeah, next question. How the hell is Williams flawed that genetic? I think James Hall's even said something to do with they run an old system or something like that. That's why the floor is just like a basic bitch floor or something like that. I don't know. It's not to do with this system with the floor. They want some old shit or whatever compared to other teams. That's why.
I just want to know, how they have such a floor like that, but their straight line speed is one of the quickest on the grid. That's why. All the time. That is a madness.
That is true, actually. That's actually true. One of life's great mysteries.
They just got down for alarm, man. That's what they've done with their car, fam. It's just,
downforce FC. Yeah. All right. Right. So, last question off MLG. Can Aston V take P2 in the World Constructors Championship? For me, no. Because Stroll can't be trusted. It's that simple.
No. And Lewis is going to overtake Alonso in the standings as well. So, why?
Yeah, we've kind of delved into this as well with the Mercedes take. But yeah, I feel like Mercedes come P2 ahead of Aston Martin at this point. Well, they already are, but yeah, I think they'll finish P2 ahead of them.
Doesn't that take P3, It's coming to shoot if we finish P4 or lower, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Mercedes are doing the wrong thing in overtaking Aston Martin. They need a tank for the wind tunnel time. They need it, so they need a tank because it gets refreshed at some point in the next couple races or something. Where if you're P2 and stuff, is it after Canada?
Yeah.
So yeah, if Aston Martin is still P2, then they lose about 80 whatever it is or something. I can't remember what it is in terms of wind tunnel time. 80 runs in wind tunnel time from what they had from last year. And Mercedes kind of need to kind of maintain the amount of wind tunnel time they have because obviously they bought these new upgrades. Still don't know what it's going to do, but if today's any indication, next year is going to be spicy, man.
Yeah, very spicy indeed. Next question off Baraka, is it Jirechu? Do we need uncomfortable conversations for Checo? Because there's no excuse to finish beyond PR63. I mean, we've already dived on this, haven't we? So, something diving any further. Next question off TJLAALE_P. How's Anik doing? He's hardened, isn't he? He's
I don't know. He hasn't even messaged the group chat. He's enjoying life.
He's ducking the smoke, isn't he? Yeah.
He sports Red Bull now, isn't it? He's enjoying.
I mean, does he really sport Red Bulls, man? You know what I'm saying? It's like
he tried to do an Uno reverse on the Anik curse, and it's just not working at all.
Boy,
he tried to do a Uno reverse on it, and it's just not working at all. His boy's still getting still getting pounded. It's crazy, man.
Howler, man. Big howler. Okay, next question of Oliver Dirty B. When is Alex's funeral being organised? Soon, brother. Very soon.
Look, there's a lot of man who's got court cases. We got one on the pod right here.
Who, Kwame?
The milkman.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry, Kwame. You'll hey, look.
Hey, no face.
I said you can't see me.
I lost my card one day.
That's why his camera's so dark, so his girls can't see him. Like.
His camera's 1080p, man. HD.
I told him about this. Holla.
Man needs to get the ring light.
He said that as well. Did he call me on the shot? Yeah, he needs to get a ring light.
Yeah. As well.
Don't worry, one of his Jones has got a ring light.
Exactly. I was wondering.
One of your Jones. Yeah. Did he make up? Don't he? Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, that's progress, bro. I remember one time he said, "Oh, no one's belling my line on the pod intro, bro." He made no progress in his life.
Hey, that day was a dark day, fam. That's what I was saying.
Oh my god, I still can't get over
Hey,
that.
what?
Unsolicited. I was like, "Yo," he just said, "Yeah." Phone's try. I'm thinking, "Fuck, let's go through it." It's like shit. Oh, Kwame, man, never change, bro. Never change. But yeah, last few questions. So this one off Hus XYN. Why Lando has a tendency to ruin this race every time he starts in the top 5?
Too busy thinking about Lewis. That's his problem.
That's an interesting question. I think maybe he's doing too much. Maybe he's pushing too hard. But then there's no need for him to push because that Aston Martin, he doesn't need to push. But I feel like maybe because, again, he'd be looking for a win for how long? Aston Martin haven't got a win.
No, Lando,
maybe that's the pressure in that team.
Yeah, Lando, bro.
Oh, Lando. For Nando. My bad.
No. I'm never calling for Nando. Nando, bro. What do you think that says? Nando wicked up.
Lando is actually the same though. He even said himself that he pushed too hard in the start. He moved a bit too desperate. Again, similar because different circumstance, but more of that car. They've been struggling this whole season. So the fact he was P3, he's gonna do all he can do to get up there. And then he did too much and he crashed into Lewis, and then after that just dropped down. But I feel like Lando is more of a mentality and pressure thing where it will come with experience though. That's the thing with Lando. It will come with experience. Like when he's in a better, faster car, more opportunities come, and you'll get used to it, and he will hone to being more steady to get them high positions. So I've got no issue with Lando.
I'll put it this way. You know when you're in VIP in the club and there's a guy in VIP who has no business doing this, he's just running around like Pac. That's what Lando is doing. And it's not his fault, it's McLaren's fault.
We're not industry plants like you. So we're not industry plants like you. We don't know about VIP.
I'm still live, bro. Still live, bro. Have you seen you at DLC, brother? You seen you at AK? You seen you, brother?
Don't be, boy. We definitely know Kwame weren't there, man. You definitely know Kwame weren't there. Not enough milk there.
No, you weren't there. I want my pictures, man. You was the Magaloo.
That was our beta boy, bro. That was his dude. Our beta boy look for the milk.
Oh, is it?
You know the Kwame. Sorry, you know the guy who pronounced Kwame's name is Kwame.
Kwame.
Hey, bigger burn.
So do you eat buffet?
Jollof rice. What's that? It's well spicy, isn't it?
I never thought, that even after my happy impression, we'll get even a funnier impression on the pod, bro.
Oh my god, we are fucking ridiculous. Oh. Okay, last few questions. Describe. Okay, this is off SOS HGN. Describe the seasons Charles and Checo are having. In my opinion, it's a bit That's all I can say.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, Charles, one podium. Checo, 1 win. I don't know how many podiums.
2 wins.
Is it 2 wins?
Yeah.
Checo has 2 wins.
Saudi and Baku.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot he won the Saudi. Shit. Raw. Yeah, 2 wins.
That's how he forged his way into a title fight after that.
Yeah, because actually should have won the Saudi last year as well, to be fair, but he got fucked over somehow. I can't remember now. But yeah, okay, yeah. So Checo's just having Daddy up and down, isn't it? Because you can get a race.
The streets were saying that he only wins races in street tracks without human rights.
Yo,
they're not my words. That's the words of the street.
Yo,
I already said enough.
So what happens if he wins the Silverstone? Well, it's not a street track, but not bad. It's an airfield, though. I mean, that's
it
don't count, but hey, let's push it for reasons.
Wait, so if I don't know, who else has got bad human rights? Actually, that's not enough.
Probably get up. I mean, he flopped in Miami, so I mean,
yeah, but
I mean, he's got too much chances in Kota and Las Vegas. You can go 4-4. Was it 4-4-1 in yeah? Oh, and then we still got another 2 others with questionable human rights as well.
Interesting.
Hey, we're not a political podcast.
I was talking about Spa, by the way. I just want everyone to know that.
Hey,
Hungary, we see you as well.
Can't like Hungary's lit though. Let me know.
Yeah, Kwame knows.
I'm not surprised. I'm actually being there. Hey, might come soon, man.
You've never been the Netherlands, brother?
No, I haven't been there either. Yeah.
Man,
just been Sweden,
Svetlana and Sweden, bro.
I shout out Denmark as well, but hey.
He's been all over Scandinavia.
Master with them Nordic Gallia. Hey,
it's F1 pod, man. I'm not gonna pay too much. It's F1 pod.
Hey, you commit to the course still. That's sleeper though. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Man said milk or die. I respect it, bro. I mean, listen, I'm gonna die for this Cravendale. I'm guarding them.
That's
I
a gold
respect
top.
it, bro.
Gold top milk, man.
No, come on. Are you a red top or a blue top or green top type of person?
All right, no comment, man. No comment, man.
It's a gold top. I tell you, gold top, man.
What's the gold top one? 5%.
No, that's like full cream. Like it's yeah, it's that more fatty than the
blue thing.
than the blue thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Swear
that's
down.
proper. Yeah, man.
What'd you get in like Sainsbury's or something?
Yeah,
Same.
Yeah.
Alright,
No, that's orange. No.
it's gold, man. What's it? I can't remember what the company's called that do it. But yeah.
Oh, it's not a Sainsbury's brand thing. It's like a next.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
Kwame's face. That's up there. He said, "What? Creamy
Look what
thing,
you've done, bruv. Look what you've done, Kwame. We're discussing milk on the Formula One podcast, bruv. Look what you've done.
After no comment, I said it's F1 pod. That's what I said.
This is your fault, Kwame. This is you have to hold that, bro.
Hey, I can't like it still, but hey, you know, we're here.
You're a green top kind of person, aren't you?
No comment. My solicitor will ask these questions for me.
Why is so carbs? So
Yo,
that, bro.
You got the same one that Young Fuck has, bruv. He's gonna be like, that's cat.
That's Cap, Your Honor.
That's the cat.
Oh God, we didn't even answer the question, but fuck it, man. Yeah, both the seasons.
What was the question?
Describe the seasons, Charles and Checo. Why haven't we started talking about milk?
Exactly. That's the season they're having.
That's some of their season. Nothing to talk about. It's just mid. Nothing to
Listen, we know Checo was definitely sampling some new milk in Monaco. That's all I know.
Zach Brown could have been if his Pato Award won Indy 500. Interesting. But yeah, last two questions. This one off Miraculous Miri. Is it time that we move towards a sport where the skill of the driver and team strategy is what underpins victory/loss, as opposed to the financial muscle of the company? Give everyone the same technology. This one man/one team dominance is becoming boring.
What
Bob, that's
IndyCar
what
or
F2 's for.
F2?
Exactly.
So what he's basically asking for? What a spec series? Is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah.
Come on,
I'm
man.
sorry, but if you've got the pinnacle of motorsport, as much as we hate it as fans, money's going to intrude its way in anyways.
I can understand what's it called. I can understand if you say, you know what, give everyone the same engine. That I can slightly understand. But I think there's like a lot you still need for F1 to be the pinnacle of motorsport. Like, it's about the engineering. And I've always said this. F1 is about the engineering as much as it is about the drivers and everything else. It's about being the best, and it's about driving the future of cars. Everything that happens in today's F1 is going to happen in tomorrow's cars, basically. So we need it. And without that technology, we are screwed. And when F1 goes into these new sustainable fuels, those are the fuels that are probably going to be in our cars in the next 10 to 15 years. And you can't do that if you're doing a spec series. You need those engineers, you need those teams like Mercedes, Ferrari, Alpine, Renault, whatever they want to call themselves, to make those cars, Honda, to make those cars, to make those engines, so it can be developed into something better for all of us at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you know what's funny about the sustainable fuel sort of topic? Yeah, it's like, okay, if that ends up being a... What's that?
It doesn't exist. I work in sustainability. It doesn't exist.
So you might Martz is saying it's an NFT. So okay, if this NFT comes to life,
No. It exists, but I'm not explaining my reasons why. But I saw a DHL
basically,
like,
if you want to do sustainable fuels, it comes at the expense of other things, mainly agriculture and food for other people. And when you reproduce, like when you talk about electric cars, where does electricity come from? It comes from fossil fuels. So you still have to burn those fossil fuels. It does not matter at the end of the day. As I said, when they talk about net zero, or offsetting carbon. It's all a lie, people. I shouldn't be saying this because it's actually my job. But I have to cut that out
Oh
as
my
well.
god!
You didn't appear on this
fucking hell.
episode. They don't know you did the podcast, did it?
I don't know. But hey, there we go. One day I'm gonna get big and this is gonna get clipped, and then I'm gonna get a email from my CEO talking about you're exposing all the secrets of the construction industry.
I mean, the fossil fuel ones, yeah, I've known about that as well. In terms of that's how they make the batteries. So it's almost like when a man saying, "Oh yeah, I've got an electric car," but like, look what your batteries are made out of, sort of thing.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it does help, but it's not as environmental
as green,
as people think it is. Like people
and
think,
also-
"Oh yeah, I'm not." You're gone.
No, I was gonna say. Also, they have my cousins working in the mines in Congo, picking up all the things before shipping it all to China to get it all made, then shipped over here. So it's all long.
And there's that as well. There's a lot of things like that. It's crazy. You've seen that they don't want these African countries to be mining and making the cars themselves that they want to. And yeah, look at us now. This is how bad of a season Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc are having. We're talking about this.
I know. Look at us being all political and shit. God damn. Political fracas. But
Let's get back onto Kwame and his milk.
Back to the real shit. Fuck on the same planet shit. Oh my god. Right, okay. Let's move on to the last question. So this is off Ben's Rubber 44. Stroll looked deadly decent today after a few dead weekends. He outperformed Fernando and was consistent despite the pace of the car. Do we think he'll gain some form or go back to factory settings going forwards?
His wrists are getting better.
But he actually performed when he had no wrist though.
Yeah, but I think that was
his wrist got better and the performance got worse, which didn't make any sense.
I think his the fact of the matter is Bahrain is a very different track, and it's like one of those tracks where you can do well. Anyone can do well. We saw George do it in his first race in Mercedes. Like he just went in a Mercedes and done well. And this is no flight on. Obviously, you still need ability to do well, but it is one of the easier tracks to do better at. So it's understandable why that the kind of shock value of, and then the shock value of the Aston Martin being quick as well. No one was expecting the Aston Martin to be up there. So your whole strategy that you might have been planning from the week ahead is kind of have to change because you have to factor in another team. So I think that's understandable. And then obviously as things gone on, Stroll's kind of gotten worse. He's still healing. You don't know how well his wrist has been healing because obviously he's putting it under so much stress and strain doing F1. And we don't know what other things he's doing in his spare time. So yeah.
Yeah, but the Bahrain thing though, it's like he's still doing 300 kilometers race distance though. And he's still turning left and right. And I know you say Bahrain is an easier track than others, but it's not like he's doing less distance. You know what I mean? There's even times where even on I think on the opening lap, he clotted into Alonso or something like that, and the car didn't even break. Like they saying, "Oh, Brad, my wrist, I can't turn the car," and it's like, "Do you know what I mean?" So he's doing shit like that. So it's like, yeah, I don't know if his wrists are fully healed. I'm gonna say yeah, but performance-wise,
Stroll's interesting though because I find him to be he's a very inconsistent driver. Like some days he's very good, some days it's very trash. Like there's no in between with him, and like the way he drives, because it's so instinctive, it's just based on instincts. You don't know what Stroll's gonna turn up. So it's kind of hard to predict like what season. I think it's gonna be like performances today where even today I don't think he did okay. He did better than Alonso, cool. But there'll be certain times where he gets up, you'll get put in the season. Like I see it coming. But it won't be
didn't
like
have the car behind him though today.
I'm saying the car today wasn't great, but I feel like in races where Aston Martin are fast, there'll be certain times where he'll be up there, but there's certain times where he'll be out of the points as well. So he's kind of a hard driver to judge off like.
It's the Stroll cycle.
He did well to in the opening lap with Lewis, versus Lewis. I'll be real, because I thought, what the hell is Lewis doing? And then obviously you just saw the car kind of just drop off, and Lewis just kind of overtake him quite easily in the end.
Yeah. I will say the Stroll cycle is he'll have a good race, a whole bunch of rubbish races where you ask why is he in the sport, and then he'll start producing some great races again. And then you understand that as Lance Stroll, and that's what he does. He'll produce blastics and have the craziest highlight reel of overtakes and stuff, and you have the craziest stinkers, and you just have to accept it.
Yeah, he's pretty much like a moments guy, isn't he? Like he'll give you a fair few moments in the season, but he won't give you like a consistent package throughout the whole season of consistency. He'll just give you like nice overtakes, maybe a good quali here, maybe a good race there, sort of thing. But like in terms of consistency, that's probably his way straight.
He's like a little dream, man, for Chelsea, man. My man turn up here and there, score banging bicycle kick, scorpion kick, and then drop off. And the thing was Stroll, because when you first joined the Williams, I thought, okay, cool, he's young. First he's Aston Martin, cool, he's young. Well, it's been in 7 seasons since 2017. Like he's been in for a while now. So this he ain't get consistent anytime soon. If he's gonna be consistent driver and get rid of them, flaws, what have been done. Usually again, 3 seasons, you give a driver a rookie, okay, cool, you get rid of his flaws, but his flaws are still here. So I think it's just Stroll, personally. Like, yes, his risk might put emphasis on this. Yes, certain racetracks, cool, but he's going to be up and down, man. That's just him.
So you're basically comparing Stroll to Cho, yeah?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. One thing I give Stroll, though, is his reps.
Cho.
Yeah,
well, you said Chelsea Academy or whatever, so I thought...
that's a Giroud, not Chelsea.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, we should
lock
the door, lock the key and door, compare him to Cho. Oh my God.
Giroud.
That guy got kicked out of Bayer Leverkusen. There's still a game left, bro.
Still no goals, Xavi took one look and said, nah. I said, nah, send him early. Send him back early. No goals in the Bundesliga.
The Bundesliga, no goals.
Bundesliga. Oh my God.
Actually, we're not touchline fracas.
Yeah, let's go back for Wednesday.
Let's focus.
Wrong fracas. Oh my God. Right, okay. That's it for listeners' questions. So if you've got this far, thank you very much. Also, please remember to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and also to follow us on Pitstop Fracas on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So, yeah, that's all for today, and we will see you next time out at Canada. Peace.